What's up everyone, this is Trendkill Toys. Today I'm taking a look at the new Revoltech Sally from the Nightmare Before Christmas movie. I don't have a whole lot to say about this figure, except that it's a really good figure, and I'll go into detail why it's pretty good. If you didn't know this already, I am a big fan of the Jack Skellington Revoltech figure. This is the 2.0 version right here. It's one of my favorite figures from 2024, and I think the Sally figure is going to be really high up there on my list of favorite figures of 2025. And I am a fan of the Nightmare Before Christmas movie, but not in like a Tumblr hot topic kind of way. I like stop motion in movies or practical effects, like Ray Harryhausen, Jason and the Argonauts, Super Sentai or Power Rangers. And then of course this movie being stop motion, I like that aspect of it. Also like the atmosphere of the movie, the character designs. It was at a time when like gothic things weren't really that trendy yet. Nowadays that thing is very watered down and commercial and trendy. I don't consider myself a part of that group. I just like this movie because of the atmosphere and stop motion character designs, pretty much the stuff that I already just said. Anyways, enough of the intro. Let's get right into the figure. So everything that comes with the figure is right here. So it does include the dog Zero. I was pretty surprised by this figure. Didn't expect it to have articulation, but the ears do articulate. The head is on a ball joint, or it's on one of those like Revoltech type joints. Also the mouth hinges, which is cool. Didn't expect that either. And the body is of course stuck to the stand. It's on a ball joint with like this cup thing. Same thing down here, so you can swivel it around. This is kind of loose though, so it kind of likes to like droop down sometimes or fall. But that's cool because you can get pretty expressive just with this figure of Zero. So I like how they did that. Then we also get this gravestone, and it's in two parts, so you can remove the actual top from the bottom. And then if you turn it around, you can see that the accessories are actually storable on the back of the gravestone. So this is a pretty cool thing. At first I was like, it's kind of weird, but it does help with storage and things like that. And then here you can see all the parts that are swappable onto the figure. So you get a couple face plates. You also get 3 sets of eyes, which are looking in different directions. You have ones that look in the center, looking to the right, looking to the left. Then you get various amount of expressions here, some hands. And this green stuff right here, I was kind of confused by it, but this is actually the stuff, the actual stuffing that's inside of Sally when her arms or legs fall off. So you can take her arms or legs off, put the stuffing on either end to accurately represent when she falls apart, literally, and she has to sew herself back together. So that's pretty cool. And she also has this dead flower, another pretty good accessory. I ended up finding the stand that Sally came with, so she does come with a stand, and so does Jack, because there's a hole in his butt. And there's 2 different attachments for the stand. There's one that's a peg that just pegs into her back. The other one is a claw that goes around the figure. It does get in the way of the hair, so it makes the figure look kind of weird. So I'm gonna try the different attachment. Looks like it still does though, a little bit, not as much as before, but it looks like that's still going to be a problem no matter where you put it. Okay, so the stand is not that great. Kind of wish it was engineered a little bit better, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. The only thing it gets in the way of is the hair, which is kind of annoying, but we're just going to have to deal with it for now.
What's this? What's this?
Now taking a look at the actual figure, this face is kind of like Muppet-like, and it's also an inconsistency between the paint on the eyelashes. You can see one is thicker than the other. You can just slightly tell one eyelash is painted thicker than the other, so that might just be a problem with mine. But yeah, so this figure actually really surprised me with the way that they articulated it and the way that they made the dress articulated. I'll just go over the articulation. It's an interesting setup, of course, as always with these kind of figures. The hair is actually articulated, so it's on a ball joint. The top part is on a ball joint, so you can move that pretty much any way you want. Then there's a hinge down here. Doesn't look the best, honestly, but it works pretty well. Double ball joint in the neck that hinges, so you can get tilting and hinging and swiveling, so pretty good articulation out of that. Same thing at the base of the neck, so she can look really far down, pretty far up, and they can also tilt at the base of the neck as well. So that's really good. And then at the shoulders here, it's the same kind of joint. Hinges out that far, and then it swivels all the way around. This sleeve is a separate piece, so it gets out of the way. Swivel out the bicep, it's also removable. Same hinge and ball joint at the elbow, gives a decent amount of range. Then it also swivels on either side of that joint. Same joint at the wrist. You bend it pretty far. Not the best looking, but at this point, that's kind of what we expect from Revoltech. So then at the torso, also the execution of the dress, the stitch work or patchwork style of the dress, they did a pretty good job on it. There's no sloppiness with the paint anywhere, at least that I've noticed. So pretty good, pretty high quality, definitely worth the price, unlike the last figure I reviewed. You don't get much articulation out of the upper torso though. You can kind of see it in there. It's the same joint, just a little bit bigger. Goes back, not that much. Goes forward, not a whole lot, pretty much nothing. So not getting a whole lot of movement out of there as far as the hinge is concerned, but of course you can swivel and not a whole lot of tilt. Don't tilt it. If you tilt it, you'll be stressing the joint. You kind of have to rotate the joint in there if you want to get tilt, but I'm not too concerned about tilting, so I'm not going to bother with that. And then when you get down here, there's a cutout on the dress, so it does hinge. The hinges forward, the other one hinges back, so you can actually get a sitting pose, which is really cool. There's no alternate legs, although maybe that would have looked better. I still appreciate how they were able to engineer the dress, you know, without like ruining the look of the figure. Same kind of joint for the hips, it moves forward that far. It does have like a swivel mechanism in there, so you can swivel it out that far, and then a cut at the thigh for swivel. You can bend the knee. Same thing for the ankle, which the feet are really small. But that's it in terms of articulation. Let's take a look at some of the different face plates. So you saw this one already, and here's that same face plate, and here's the eyes. And like I showed you before, there's different eyes that you can put in each of the different face plates. And so what you do is you plug the eyes in first, then the face goes on, and here's another face where she's sad. Details are really good. Here she has a shocked expression, and here's a happy expression. You have to remove the eyes for this one because there's no place for the eyes to go, and it's where she has her eyes closed, like a sleeping face. I think they did a really good job on these faces. I'm really happy that they included this many. Maybe could have been a little bit more, but I guess she's not as expressive as Jack because Jack came with a lot more. Now I'll show you what the stuffing accessories look like. So there's what that looks like on the hand. Then you can take her leg and put one of these stuffing accessories, and it doesn't really sit in there. It's like really loose on there, and so I guess you can have her holding her leg or trying to sew her leg back on. But I have to be honest, not really a big fan of these green stuffing accessories. I think something else could have been included that would have been a lot better. For example, a doghouse for Zero would have made a lot more sense, since this is the only figure that has Zero. Now we'll check out how it scales with some other figures. Here it is next to the man himself, Jack Skellington, and obviously he's a lot taller than Sally, so that's accurate. That makes sense. And here she is next to Marvel Legends Captain America. Here she is next to SH Figuarts Gojo. Pretty much in scale. You know, if these two characters were ever to meet, I think Jack would have a problem with that. But as far as scaling goes, not really an issue with that. Here she's next to another Figuarts Freerin with her custom winter outfit. I got that from eBay. Here she's next to Homer Simpson. Jada Toys Ken, PW Toys Leon. Here she is next to Shadow the Hedgehog. And here's Aerith next to Sally. So that's it for the comparisons, and here's Jack back. He's a happy man. He's got his wife, he's got his dog. The diorama piece that he came with, which doesn't really make sense. It's like a tiny gate, tiny iron door. I don't know why it's so tiny. The two diorama pieces don't really make sense next to each other. Not sure what they were going for with that, but it is cool to have something that kind of replicates the location of the movie. I've said everything I needed to say, and don't worry, there's no cringy rap at the end of my videos. I'll see you in the next review.
Whoa! Whoa. 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 What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? There's something very wrong. What's this? There's other people singing songs. White people laughing. There's something very wrong. White people kiss. Other people everywhere. I can't believe my eyes. I must be daffy. Oh look, what's this? The hanging mistletoe. They kiss? Why that looks so queer.